here we are.
As you were talking about kind of a lot of this behavior being hidden, I was thinking, yeah, I paddleboard. I've been paddleboarding a bunch this summer, and I'll see turtles on a log, and I'll try to like be quiet and just float and maybe get my camera out quick. And man, even turtles, notorious for being extremely slow, are a pretty darn skittish species, and they hop off that log the second they get the first glance of anything unusual coming at them. And I don't actually recall seeing lizards in any kind of group, anything that looked like much of a party happening.
Right.
You do see I guess one thing coming to mind is you see like the den of snakes, like keeping one another warm and stuff. You see that on the Attenborough documentaries. They'll show that sometimes. Then usually it's a solitary lizard just being born, running through that whole pit of snakes or whatever. So how did people determine that lizards were social in the first place, and then how do you go about doing your research? I mean, it does seem like it sounds like you need a lot of patience, but it also sounds like a pretty chill way to spend a day.
Yeah. So for people like me, it's a blast, but it's remember that social can mean interactions between just two individuals. So you're not necessarily looking for a huge group. We do see big groups of lizards communally nesting. Iguanas do it. Skinks do it. There's a bunch of different lizards that the moms all get together and nest in the same area. And that's something I've studied for quite a long time. And there's always some moms that are nesting solitarily too, but usually you get most of the moms of a species or a population nesting together, and we're still trying to understand the benefits of that. It looks like the moms are sharing information, right? So if you're a lizard, especially if you're kind of small, like the little skinks, you got to go out and find a site that has the right temperature and moisture to put your eggs, because you don't stay with your eggs usually. And so you got to be careful and pick the right site where the eggs are going to hatch and pass on your genes. Well, if you come across another mother's eggs, she's wired the same as you, looking for the same thing. So you can save time, energy, and perhaps not get eaten by a bird by spending too much time looking, by adding your eggs to her eggs. And so we see a lot of that. So the benefits could be to the mother, could be to the eggs, or even the hatchlings when they hatch. So communal nesting is a big one for lizards. Another neat lizard story is we think of monogamy as being pretty rare, right, in animals, and there's even arguments about it in humans, right? How monogamous are humans? And so we would expect it to be pretty rare in reptiles, and we don't know. But there's a lizard in Australia, the sleepy lizard, which has something called seasonal monogamy, in which pairs get together during the breeding season for several weeks to a couple of months, and they mate regularly. They then spend the rest of the year off on their own separately, and then they meet back at the same place. The same two meet back at the same place the next year to mate again for a few weeks to a couple of months. So they call it seasonal monogamy, and there's this sleepy lizard, it's called, in Australia that does this.
Interesting.
And one pair has been tallied at 27 straight years now.
Really?
That the same pair have met to mate.